Fran leaving, Fran being a boss, I made the little pun that we would talk about our favorite bosses in Destiny. And yeah, I kind of wanted to hear where everybody landed on this. So CJ, do you have a favorite encounter that involved a boss at the end? I could start if you guys need some time to
give
think
it a go.
about it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the character's name. If we go to the Y.
But he's your favorite.
I don't remember the character's name, but it's my favorite encounter because of the way it would work out with your team. And it was the one on Venus in Destiny 1. You would go through it, and at the end,
We're talking Destiny 1 as well.
any
All
boss
of
in
Destiny.
Destiny.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah. But anyway, like
4 years of bosses.
the Skolas looking guy would sort of pop out of the thing, and then you would just melt him as a team.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
once you could land your crit shots with like Black Hammer,
The
or
Archon
Gjallarhorn.
Priest?
Archon Priest.
Yeah, I
one.
think it's
The
Archon
one who
Priest.
comes out of the ship?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Oh.
like, and it's
Yeah,
like
I
all
really,
steaming
really
and-
loved
yeah.
Archon
that
Priest
was
because
fave.
once you locked down your strategy,
Oh, man.
you would melt him immediately, and you
Yes.
felt super powerful. And that was really, really fun. Like I thought about the raid bosses and such, and those guys are really cool. But there's also the strike bosses that we don't often consider.
Yeah.
And that was an element of that particular Venus boss that I really like. Archon's Priest.
So I can go next. I don't remember the name of the strike, but it's Ala Cool.
Oh,
The dark
in the
priest.
darkness.
Yeah, the
Yes,
dark room.
when you're going down,
Prince, whatever.
yeah, I think that was one of the most iconic shots in the whole game when you're walking down that huge
Yeah.
flight and you're looking around, and there's a bunch
dreadnought.
of Taken and the dreadnought, and the thrall are running up to you, lighting them all up. The moment you see in the distance, to me, that I don't think I've ever seen. Like we always talk about the raids having crazy scales. That was the biggest moment where these like. It looks like I always call them like clock things hanging from the ceiling. But
Yeah.
you see all this stuff in the distance, and I don't think I remember anything in Destiny looking that large or grand. And that boss was it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, melee lots, and yeah, you're running around. It's pitch black. It was really cool. It was my favorite strike boss.
There was also like another part where you had to kill certain things in a certain way to like unlock some weapon. They did a lot of stuff with that particular mission that I really, really liked.
Yeah.
There was like a Void, Solar, and Arc version of that.
It also had that
guy.
strike specific, at least for Titans, that strike specific helm. That looked
Luke.
really cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was like the
Yeah.
the hive head.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'd be probably remiss not to mention Omnigul on that. I don't want to steal anybody else's, but Grasp of Malek and Omnigul also.
I hated Omnigul.
Yeah, Omnigul.
I did too, but like the screaming and like the
I
boss
hate-
battle.
I
think I had,
did-
like, PTSD
that is
from
definitely
that.
not
That's
one of
Harris
my
Warren screaming.
favorites. That is something we did to obtain a weapon,
yes.
but I do not like the encounter.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
CJ's right.
Yeah.
Like that first time you jump into Alakul's like
Yeah.
lair and it's dark, I remember being like there's this overwhelming sense of dread where you're like, I have to fight this boss. I can't even see him.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
it's going to
Terrifying.
be really hard. And it was.
Yeah.
It was cool.
What about you, friend? You got one?
Man, I'm like running through the Rolodex, and it's really hard to pick. And since everything's included, I didn't know that at first. I thought it was like strike.
Do you have one,
bosses.
Sean?
I do.
Oh.
Yeah. You want me to come?
Yeah.
do you
Yeah,
know
buy
who
me
you
a little
buy?
time.
Buy-
I'm pretty
buy a
sure I
little
know what
time
I'm
for
going to
Fran.
say.
So-
Suspense. No. Let's build this.
This one was kind of easy for me. There's a lot of great encounters, but the one that really stands out to me is Axis, because I think for me personally, the type of Destiny that I like to play is a blend of knowing pretty complex mechanics, but then also having a high degree of skill in your movement and gun skill and stuff. And I don't
refresh
think
our
that-
memory. Which one's Axis?
Axis is the Wrath of the Machine,
The end raid
final
boss.
boss,
Yeah.
where he's portaling around the room,
Yeah.
and you guys have to
Big
jump
spider
on
legs
platforms
boy.
and hammer him and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think one, I think that it takes a lot of skill. One, it's a difficult mechanic just to even figure out, right? The first time you jump in the raid and you're trying to figure out how to get him to do anything, I think it was really cool. But that pendulum swung too far the other direction, in my opinion, with Leviathan, where once you figured out the mechanics, the encounters became so mind-numbingly easy that you could drag a group of people who didn't understand or have even done it before, for the most part, within like an hour, as long as they were smart. And Axis is not one of those encounters. Axis is an encounter that even if you have the mechanics in your head and you know what you're supposed to do, being able to react quickly enough to grab to know that you have the buff and that you have to jump onto him or on the platform depending on where he portals, and everyone has to do it at the same time. And when you do the raid challenge where they add a separate platform, so now you have to slam the boss in addition to a platform that's on the other side of the room. The communication and the skill that it takes for a team of Guardians to execute that encounter is still like top tier for me.
So we got 3 Destiny 1 bosses on the list. I don't know, Bungie.
We were also talking
Fran?
strike though too, so
Yeah.
maybe let's wrap up with like a number one raid boss.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's stick with anything.
Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we've
I
all
mean, it's
picked-
a little hard
That's
to-
a raid boss.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a little hard not to be sentimental, and like you didn't have
Yeah.
any criteria.
Nope, just bosses. Favorite bosses
Yeah.
in Destiny.
And I mean, unfortunately, I have to throw another Destiny 1 out there. But a
All
lot
right.
of it is sentiment and I just thought it was such a cool design by Crota. I mean, I have so many amazing memories fighting Crota in particular.
Not his
Probably
dad?
because of the Oryx was great too, but
Yeah.
there's just something a little more real about Crota in the sense that he was not too big. He was not like
He
I don't know.
wasn't too big.
Like, meaning he wasn't like.
And when he
was.
sworded you, he felt big.
He was.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Oryx. He wasn't like, I don't know. There was something about like you felt like you were fighting someone a little closer to you.
There was a scale at the time. We had Vault and then we got Crota, right? So they were both about the
not
same
that he was-
size.
he was big,
bigger, like 10 times the size of your character.
But I liked just the sword mechanics, quite honestly, and just the pit, and I guess for some reason I liked hiding in those rooms. So a lot of it is probably sentiment on that one.
Yeah.
And then just throwing it out there, the other two that were really on my mind were definitely like Golgoroth, and then
Golgoroth.
Golgoroth was good.
was awesome, and then actually in the strike right at the end with the chains, the ogre, what's his name in Destiny 1, he was all chained up, in the center.
with the eye.
Oh, and then he busts out.
You have
Yeah,
to like shoot
when
him in
you
the eyeball.
bust the chains open in Destiny 1, like
Oh,
super-
I know what you're
right.
talking
Yeah.
about.
it was like one of the most.
like
It was the
Old
Rise
Rock.
of
I
Iron.
don't know
one.
why I forgot
Yeah.
his name, but
Morgoth.
it was not.
Yeah,
Morgoth.
it
There
was
is a
like
Morgoth
no,
son.
but he was
Yeah,
the eye who
he
had
came to
stolen
find
like a take it, not a taken. Wait, maybe a fallen, whatever one of those guys who shoots the eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Thanks for watching, Guardians. Don't forget to check out Fireteam chat and like and subscribe.
Oh my God.
That's really
What
bad.
is happening?